everyone. Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at modern relationships, all the changes happening in how people approach love and dating and all that. We found this really interesting piece online. It's called Love Breakups and the Gender Power Shift,
Yeah.
What's Happening in Today's Generation.
Oh, wow.
It's a long title,
Yeah,
but it's really thought-provoking.
I bet.
And it asks some big questions like, is love even the same as it used to be?
Hmm.
And are traditional gender roles actually changing? Like, are those old ideas about men and women totally outdated now?
Interesting.
Yeah. So we want to dive into all of that and see what we can learn from this commentary. What really jumped out at me was this idea of love as a subscription service.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
In the past, relations were more like a long-term investment.
Right.
And now it's like we're all just signing up for a month at a time
that's a good analogy.
and then maybe canceling after the free trial.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The author even joked about all the space people need. Like, space for what? Launching a rocket?
I mean, I get needing space sometimes,
Of course.
but it does seem like it's become this huge thing in relationships these days.
Yeah, and I think it connects to some bigger trends.
Okay.
Our lives are just so fast-paced now.
Definitely.
We have so many choices for everything, and technology is constantly throwing new people at us.
It's overwhelming sometimes.
It is.
Like, you can swipe through hundreds of profiles on a dating app
Exactly.
and still not find anyone you actually want to meet.
Right, and researchers have actually studied this. They call it the paradox of choice.
What's that?
Basically, it means that having more options doesn't always make us happier.
Really?
Yeah, because we get overwhelmed
Hmm.
and we start second-guessing ourselves.
I can see that.
And I
Yeah.
think that same thing might be happening with relationships.
Oh, so maybe that's why everyone's so obsessed with space.
Could be.
We're just so used to having tons of options
Right.
that we don't want to commit to anything.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then there's this whole other thing the author brought up about gender roles changing. Oh, yeah. Like, they pointed out that men are way more into skincare now,
Uh-huh.
and women are focusing more on their careers. There was this hilarious line about how she's out there earning degrees while you're earning compliments for your cheekbone highlight.
Uh-huh. I love that.
It's funny, but it also makes you think.
Yeah, are gender roles really changing that much?
Right. Like, is this a real trend?
Or just a few people being really vocal?
That's a good question.
Well, there is some evidence. Studies show that men are spending more time and money on grooming than ever.
Wow.
And at the same time, you have more women in leadership positions than ever.
So maybe it is a real shift.
It's hard to say for sure.
It's definitely complex.
For sure.
But I do wonder if social media plays a role in all this.
I was just thinking that.
Like, it creates so much pressure to look a certain way.
And to present this perfect image of yourself.
Exactly.
And the author talked about this too, how this obsession with glowing up might be distracting us from what really matters.
Like real connection. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in likes and followers.
And forget about building genuine relationships.
But the cool thing is, the author doesn't just complain about modern love. They actually offer a solution.
Oh, that's good.
They say, we need to redefine love for ourselves
Okay, how?
by focusing on personal growth and connecting on a deeper level, not just on superficial things.
Makes sense.
It goes back to that idea of a long-term investment.
Right. You can't build a lasting relationship on fleeting trends
Exactly.
or just because someone looks good in their Instagram photos.
So true.
Real fulfillment comes from investing in yourself, in your relationships, and in the things that truly matter.
And that takes effort.
It does.
And a willingness to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
This whole conversation has really got me thinking, how do we navigate all this change? Like, how do we balance our ambition with finding love and staying true to ourselves in a world that's constantly trying to define us?
Those are big questions.
Well.
And there aren't any easy answers.
Yeah.
But I think the first step is awareness. Like, we need to be aware of the influences around us, question our assumptions, and be open to new ways of thinking about relationships and happiness.
That's great advice.
Thanks.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
Yes.
We've only scratched the surface today. But hopefully this has given you some food for thought and some new perspectives to ponder. Keep those conversations going, everyone. Keep exploring and keep on diving deeper. Thanks for listening.